The epitome of air superiority, the pioneer of fifth-generation fighters, the nightmare of air forces worldwide, a pacifist with a clean combat record, the most formidable air superiority fighter on Earth, the U.S. Air Force's most expensive ornament, codenamed Raptor. The F-22 fighter jet gained worldwide fame for its near unbeatable dominance. Yet, despite being the sky's ultimate predator for nearly 2 decades in service, the F-22 has never achieved a single notable combat victory. More embarrassingly, due to outdated avionics and obsolete performance, the F-22 was once deemed useless appendages, repeatedly pushing for their early retirement. Yet now, these discarded old Raptors face a legislative ban on retirement by Congress. Lockheed Martin is investing $1 billion to subject them to a transformative magic modification upgrade. So the question arises, what undiscovered potential does this antiquated relic, never proven in aerial combat? What undiscovered potential could it possibly hold to warrant such a massive investment by the U.S. military? What kind of disruptive capabilities will Lockheed Martin's upgrade inject into it? And does its rebirth signal a new beginning for the Raptor's era of dominance? To understand why the F-22 remains the benchmark of modern air combat, we must revisit that turbulent era in the 1980s. The U.S. Air Force's F-15 Eagle was the undisputed ruler of NATO skies. Yet across the globe, the Soviet MiG-29 and Su-27 entered service. Their astonishing maneuverability made the U.S. acutely aware that technological superiority was being eroded. For the first time, the F-15's aerial supremacy faced a challenger. To secure future dominance, the U.S. launched an unprecedented program, the F-22 Raptor. -27 entered service. Their astonishing maneuverability made the U.S. feel the pressure of a closing technological gap for the first time. The F-15's aerial supremacy faced its first challenger. To secure absolute air superiority for decades to come, the U.S. Air Force launched the unprecedented Advanced Tactical Fighter Program, abbreviated as ATF. This initiative had a singular objective: to create the ultimate fighter capable of overwhelming any known or potential future adversary. Ultimately, 2 radically different designs emerged as finalists in this pinnacle competition. Northrop's sci-fi-inspired YF-23, Black Widow II, and Lockheed's YF-22. Although the YF-23 demonstrated greater potential in speed and stealth during subsequent testing, the YF-22 achieved unprecedented feats during flight trials. It successfully executed a 60-degree high angle of attack maneuver and completed missile launch tests, showcasing its design maturity and lower technical risks. Ultimately, the F-22 emerged victorious in this battle for supremacy. A deeper analysis of the F-22 specifications reveals its dominance rests upon 4 technological pillars. First is its redefined concept of invisibility. The F-22's stealth capability relies not merely on radar-absorbing coatings, but fundamentally on its aerodynamic design. The leading edges of its wings, intake, and tail surfaces employ parallel, edge design. This flat surface alignment principle directs radar waves toward a few specific angles instead of scattering them back to the radar receiver. Simultaneously, its shaped intake cleverly shields the highly radar-reflective engine blades inside. This combination reportedly reduces its radar cross-section to the size of a marble, drastically compressing detection ranges. Second, it redefines supersonic cruise speed. The F-22's twin Pratt and Whitney F-119 engines are powerhouse marvels in aviation history. Their thrust output, even without afterburner engagement, surpasses that of the F-15's engines with afterburner activated. This endows the F-22 with the decisive capability to sustain 1.76 Mach flight without additional fuel consumption. This advantage ensures the F-22 reaches combat zones faster and with lower fuel expenditure. -22, the ability to sustain flight at Mach 1.76 without additional fuel consumption. This decisive advantage ensures the F-22 reaches combat zones faster and with lower fuel expenditure, maintaining peak energy levels throughout engagements. This forces adversaries into reactive pursuit and disengagement maneuvers. Third, it redefines the concept of agility in high maneuverability. The F-22's maneuverability stems from its powerful thrust. To weight ratio and unique two-dimensional thrust vectoring nozzles. This system allows the engine exhaust to deflect up to 20 degrees in both vertical directions. More impressively, it is not a manually operated trick. The vectoring nozzles are fully integrated with the aircraft's flight control system. Pilots need only issue maneuver commands. The flight control computer automatically coordinates vector thrust, flaps, tail surfaces, and all aerodynamic surfaces to execute actions with maximum efficiency. The result is the F-22's capability to perform post-stall maneuvering tactics. This technique enables controlled tactical maneuvers beyond the stall angle of attack, primarily used in close-range air combat. By flying at high angles of attack, it rapidly adjusts the aircraft's heading or reduces turn radius to seize advantageous attack positions. This also means the F-22 can point its nose at targets, even at extremely low airspeeds. Particularly in close-range dogfights, it can seize firing opportunities faster than opponents. For a fighter jet, this is the ultimate game-ending trump card. The fourth and most pivotal aspect of F-22 technology is its redefined cognitive sensor fusion. This concept might sound convoluted, as if I am just making it up, but that is not the case. Understand this: before the F-22, pilots in the air were like octopuses, juggling raw data from multiple screens, radar, electronic warfare alarms, data link systems, and other screens, then mentally piece together the battlefield picture. It was like using pilots as human CPUs. The F-22 pioneered sensor fusion. Its powerful central processor integrates, analyzes, and identifies data from all sensors, including the APG-77 active phased array radar and electronic warfare systems, and identifies it. This information is then presented to the pilot on the cockpit's liquid crystal display as a clear, intuitive, multi-perspective view. Enemy aircraft appear as red triangles, friendly aircraft as green circles, and unknown targets as yellow squares. This transformation liberated pilots from being overwhelmed, instrument operators to becoming focused, intelligence analysts dedicated to tactical decision-making, stealth, supercruise, high maneuverability, coupled with revolutionary sensor fusion. These four pillars collectively establish the F-22's indisputable generational advantage over all contemporary fighters from its inception, making it the true master of the skies. Yet the power of theory collided with the awkwardness of reality. The F-22 has yet to record a single aerial kill since its introduction. The reasons are twofold. Firstly, it lost its intended adversary. With the collapse of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War, the F-22, originally designed for large-scale air combat, saw its production halted. To this day, the F-22 holds no aerial combat kill record. Two primary reasons explain this. First, it lost its intended adversary. With the collapse of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War, the F-22, originally planned for large-scale air combat, saw its production cut from 750 to 187 units. Second, its battlefield debut occurred in the wrong theater. In 2014, the F-22 made its combat debut in Syria, tasked with ground attack missions. Leveraging its stealth to penetrate air defenses, it deployed GPS-guided bombs against ground targets with no aerial threat. This limited role, while effective, failed to showcase the fighter's full potential. F-22 saw its first combat deployment in Syria, tasked with ground attack missions. Leveraging its stealth capabilities to penetrate air defenses, it delivered GPS-guided bombs against ground targets facing no aerial threat. While this demonstrated its versatility, deploying such an expensive air superiority fighter for such overkill also highlighted its strategic mismatch with the counterterrorism era. Thus, the F-22's zero-kill record stemmed not from performance shortcomings but from its unique historical and strategic context. However, as great power competition returned to the U.S. military's focus, this weapon designed for top-tier confrontation finally faced an upgrade. Yet the most immediate catalyst for the F-22's modernization was a tug-of-war between the U.S. Air Force and Congress. From the Air Force's perspective, upgrading the fleet's 32 oldest Block 20 batch F-22s was essential. -22 upgrade's most immediate catalyst, however, stems from a tug-of-war between the U.S. Air Force and Congress. From the Air Force's perspective, the 32 oldest Block 20 batch F-22s in its fleet feature avionics systems that are outdated and incapable of effectively countering emerging threats. The cost of upgrading them is reportedly prohibitive. It would be more economical to retire them outright and redirect the saved maintenance funds to other projects. However, Congress, in a rare move, firmly rejected the Air Force's proposal. The reasoning was straightforward. With only 187 F-22s in total and the next-generation fighter still in development, retiring any aircraft possessing a fifth-generation airframe platform would severely undermine the U.S. military's existing high-end air superiority capabilities. -22 fleet totals only 187 aircraft, and with next-generation fighters still under development, retiring any fifth-generation airframe would severely weaken the U.S. military's existing high-end air superiority capabilities. Since retirement is not an option, upgrading becomes the only viable path. As the primary manufacturer of the F-22, Lockheed Martin has taken on the critical mission of modernizing these grandfather aircraft. The upgrade plans developed for the F-22 primarily focus on three core areas. The first and most crucial upgrade involves equipping the F-22 with an infrared search and track (IRST) system. The upgrade plan developed for the F-22 primarily focuses on three core areas. The first and most critical upgrade direction is equipping the F-22 with an infrared search and track (IRST) system. This upgrade aims to address the F-22's detection challenges when facing stealth opponents of the same generation. After all, traditional radar detection is essentially a cat and mouse game. Activating radar immediately reveals one's position, an extremely dangerous proposition in stealth fighter engagements. IRST, however, is a passive detection system. It emits no signals but operates like night vision goggles, detecting targets by capturing infrared heat signatures from enemy engine exhaust plumes and aerodynamic friction along the airframe. According to the plan, the F-22 will receive two infrared systems. -22 will be equipped with two infrared systems, a pod-mounted IRST for long-range, offensive target search and tracking, and an internal IRD's infrared defense system for close-range defensive missile threats. This upgrade represents a revolutionary tactical advancement, enabling the F-22 to detect stealth targets like the F-35 and J-20 at long range while operating in silent mode without radar activation. It provides fire, control-grade data for weapon engagement, marking a tactical shift from radar-based detection to heat signature-based hunting. The second upgrade focuses on integrating the F-22's data link by adopting an Open Mission Systems (OMS) architecture. The emphasis is on integration rather than rebuilding the data link, because the F-22 was originally designed with extreme secrecy in mind, employing a unique data link system known as IFDEL. This system only enables encrypted communication between F-22s and cannot directly exchange data at high speeds with other allied platforms like the F-35 or F-16s or other allied platforms. This effectively made the F-22 an information orphan. The current upgrade integrates the more widely used Link-16 data link. The newly adopted OMS can be understood as adding a universal USB interface to the F-22's avionics system. This system enables the Air Force to integrate new software and hardware more rapidly and cost-effectively, resolving the F-22's compatibility issues. -22's avionics with a universal USB interface. This system enables the Air Force to integrate new software and hardware more rapidly and cost-effectively, resolving the F-22's compatibility issues and allowing it to truly integrate into the Joint Operations Network. The third upgrade focuses on enhancing the F-22's range and strike capabilities. -22 was originally designed for the European theater, its range proving insufficient across the vast Indo-Pacific region. To address this, Lockheed is developing low-drag stealth auxiliary fuel tanks. These tanks feature a specially shaped design that provides additional fuel for the F-22 without significantly increasing its radar cross-section, while also allowing supersonic flight when loaded. This effectively resolves the F-22's range limitations. -22's range limitations. Furthermore, The upgraded F-22 will integrate the Wave Rider hypersonic missile. Capable of exceeding Mach 5, this weapon can be deployed from the F-22's internal weapons bays. Launching hypersonic weapons from within a stealth platform will drastically reduce enemy air defense systems' reaction time, transforming the F-22 from a conventional fighter into a platform for launching hypersonic weapons. -22's internal weapons bays. Launching hypersonic weapons from within a stealth platform will drastically compress enemy air defense systems' reaction time, transforming the F-22 from a pure air superiority fighter into an advanced breakthrough capability. Equipped Standoff Strike Platform, IRST passive detection, open system architecture, and long-range hypersonic strike. These three critical upgrades not only address the F-22's inherent limitations but unlock an entirely new operational role. Central to this role is manned-unmanned teaming. In the U.S. Air Force's planning, the F-22, with its exceptional stealth, powerful situational awareness, and upgraded open avionics, has been designated as the first platform to command Cooperative Combat Aircraft CA platform. CCA, commonly known as the Loyal Wingman, is a highly autonomous unmanned combat aircraft. The F-22's role will thus evolve from that of the ultimate aerial shooter to a strategic commander. In traditional air combat, the shooter operates at the end of the system chain, executing orders, locking targets, and launching missiles. The commander, however, is the battlefield organizer. It need not personally secure every kill, but must instead grasp the entire battlefield situation, assign tasks to teammates, and direct them to execute the most effective tactics. In future air combat scenarios, an upgraded F-22 will no longer fight alone. Accompanying it will be several unmanned wingmen. The F-22 pilot will issue commands to these drones through the cockpit control system. He can order a wingman to advance, using its sensors for silent reconnaissance of high-threat zones, or direct it to execute other missions. The F-22 pilot will issue commands to these drones through the cockpit control system. He can order one wingman to advance using its sensors for silent reconnaissance of high-threat zones. He can command another wingman to activate electronic jamming to suppress enemy air defense systems. Upon target acquisition, he can directly order drones to launch weapons for attack or to absorb the enemy's first wave of fire. Within this system, unmanned wingmen serve as the F-22's external sensors and external ammunition stores. The F-22 itself, leveraging its stealth advantage, can command the entire formation from a relatively secure position using its powerful information processing capabilities and battlefield awareness. This not only significantly extends the operational radius and firepower density of a single F-22, but more importantly, liberates the pilot from high-risk frontline dogfights, allowing them to focus on higher-level tactical decision-making. Now we can answer the initial question. Why would the U.S. military invest such enormous sums to upgrade a 20-year-old vintage aircraft? The answer is that their investment extends beyond the F-22's airframe itself. They are investing in its immense potential as the command core of a future 6th-generation air combat system. This upgrade aims to transform the world's premier 5th-generation fighter platform into the first truly 6th-generation air combat command node. This dormant F-22 Raptor is being reawakened, and its return heralds the imminent next disruption in air combat paradigms. -22 is being reawakened, and its return heralds the next paradigm shift in air combat. That is all for today's story on the rebirth of the F-22 Raptor. From a Cold War-era air superiority champion to today's future-oriented drone commander, the F-22's journey itself encapsulates 3 decades of strategic evolution within the U.S. Air Force. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We also welcome your thoughts in the comments section. In your view, can the upgraded F-22 maintain its edge over potential adversaries on future battlefields? Share your perspective below. See you next time.